Hello and welcome to the Work Hate podcast. I'm Bron Lewis. This is my co-host, Brady Blake. If you have ever had a job, chances are you've had a psychotic boss or terrible work conditions or an insufferable workmate. And if you've had neither of those things, you're the issue.
You're the fucking problem.
Yeah.
And joining us today is Karl Chandler, podcaster,
Yes.
online bully.
Yes, thank you. And offline, thank you. One of the few comedians in Melbourne that has actually had a job. It must be fucking hard to find these sort of people.
Man, oh my God. And you organise shows during Comedy Festival and dealing with comedians must be... I mean, I've dealt with comedians before. It's a nightmare. They're the dumbest people alive.
Yeah.
And even the ones you think have it together are stupid as fuck.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's like...
Wow, I am sitting here. It is incredible that you made eye contact with me when you said it.
Kind of vaguely organised, yeah.
Okay, great.
You guys have had jobs before. Obviously, that's why you're doing this thing. It's like herding cats if cats were... fucked in the head, you know.
If cats were even more stupid.
Even more selfish and dumb. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
all right, give us a list of names specifically, starting at number one.
Did you have a job before comedy? No. Did you have a job before comedy, or have you always
Absolutely.
been in...
I'm a grown-up.
Yeah,
yes.
I know. Okay, great.
I'm not one of these
so
private
sorry.
schoolboy people that started comedy at 14 telling it how it is. No, I had proper work. I left home at 17 to go to TAFE.
What did you study at TAFE?
Like graphic design.
Okay.
Oh, that's why you could do all the posters.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Was that, because I don't want to bring up your age, but was that old school? Like you had to cut it out and put it on a thing, scan it in?
No, that's fair.
That light bulb with the photo thing goes off, you throw the light bulb out.
No.
That'll stay
you've
in.
upset him. He's allergic to being bullied.
Best thing.
Okay?
Best thing I've said so far. No, we were right on the verge of that maybe because we had teachers that were like, would insist on that. They were, you know, of that age where they were like, well, this is what I had to do when I went to school.
Yeah.
When I learned how to be a graphic designer, this is what I had to do. So you have to do it too. And we're like, hang on, we're doing 3/4 of our work on computers and then we have to paint a poster as well. It's like, this will never come in useful.
No.
And it never did.
It's like old comedians now when giving like newer comedians advice. They're like, you can't say that has to be slightly racist. Otherwise it's not funny.
Yeah, well, what are you wasting your time on TikTok for? Yeah. Oh, no, that's something I would say.
Yeah.
Here's a guitar and do a jingle about a suburb.
Yes,
you know?
Yes, all that. So, no, I had jobs. I worked at you know what? The first job I got out of school was I worked at the local newspaper.
Really?
In a very small town called Maryborough, which I'm from, 8,000 people. You'd wonder why they bother with a newspaper, but anyway.
What was the biggest news you saw?
Yeah, honestly, it was pretty depressing. You know what?
Down?
Because I studied graphic design, but before that I wanted to be like a journalist, but then I did work experience at the Maryborough Advertiser and went, you know what? I don't think I need to go out and check on cows 3 times a week.
Oh my
I don't think I
gosh.
want to do that. I was thinking about maybe, you know, like the Daily Planet, you know, Clark Kent sort of thing. And then there was more like fucking Wurzel Gummidge or something.
Yeah,
Like out on a farm.
How far does a hand go in?
Yeah.
Our local news rag was called the Hills Gazette or something like that, and we used to have this fountain out the front. It was like gum nut leaves, and we always used to chuck detergent in there. Hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
And every time that would happen, that would be front page.
Yes.
Because there's nothing else, and they'd use the same photo from like 3 floodings ago.
Great.
Don't
It's
take
like,
a photo of it.
it's the same. It's the same.
Great. So I worked out the back. I was on the computers. There was 3. Well, we were called graphic artists, and we would have to like put the newspaper together. Right. Now, I was just thinking about this on the way here. This was like a full day of my job. I used to like type out the TV guide. Now,
What?
Like type it out.
As it for fun or that
No,
was part of
Like
your
7
job?
p.m.
Not for fun. It wasn't the Daily Rain Man. It was the Maryborough Advertiser. It was part of my job. There was a TV lift out.
Yeah.
And you have to. And what would happen back then is they would fax over like the details of like what was going to be on, and then I'd be
older
like,
than I thought.
yeah.
But not a bad
Well,
job.
either that or we had much worse technology in Maryborough.
Because
but-
then you would know which stuff definitely had N or S. Remember
Yes,
that? Nudity
absolutely.
or sex scenes.
Absolutely.
yeah, okay.
That's what me and my brother used to do. We used to
Yeah.
we used to look over the guide.
Yep.
Just
This
look at
sounds crook, but
SBS.
me and my brother made a porno.
Yeah.
not together.
Okay.
Wow.
But we used to have a VH tape, and then like he would be on shifts. And I'd be like, all right, you've got the 9:30 and the 12. And then you'd have to watch a movie, like, and then Angelina Jolie would be naked,
Yeah.
and we would hit record.
Wow.
And the purpose was so you could each have a wank over this same content.
Well, I don't think that was communicated between us,
Yeah.
but we did each have our own time
Yeah.
with the tape.
Yes.
And whether that happened or
Right.
not, I will neither confirm nor deny.
Oh my God, this is
but yeah, and then
wildly
it goes for like 18 minutes. I found it when I went home.
Wow.
I was
You
like,
found it?
yeah, it's got like Anthony Banderas and Angelina Jolie. Then there's like one nip slip from the Wild Things.
Yeah, what did you write on the front of the VHS then to like cover yourself in case your mum found it?
Soccer highlights or
Great,
something like
great.
that. Yeah. Really
Great.
got to throw mum off the scent. I was thinking that the other time when we're on a family computer having porn, how you'd throw your parents off. You'd have 15 files.
Yes.
And in those files, it'd be
Yes.
like 27 different files.
Yes.
And then if you got through all that,
Yeah.
there'd just be like a photo of some big natties.
Yeah. Unless your mum knew how to just like, Control F and then search for .jpeg and then go, oh, there's fucking a treasure trove.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I find my porn when I lose it.
I used to print it out, but we had a slow printer. It was a bubble jet. It used to take like half an hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I hope Dad's not coming home now. And
Yes.
it's like one slow print coming out, and I'd hang on to it all week.
This is
Yeah.
sad.
It is
turned
sad.
I thought this episode was supposed to be funny. How dare
This
you?
is you young.
sad.
This is your life when you're young.
So you typed out the
Yes.
TV guide.
Yes,
Yep.
I would type that out. So the thing was that the only thing that I would sort of catch up on in a good way, I guess, is that you would go, okay, well, I don't have to touch sunrise 7 till 9 or whatever it is every day.
Okay.
Always
so
there.
there's stuff that's always going to be there. You're just sort of looking at, you're cross-checking for what has changed that week or whatever. So which sort of makes it an even more depressing job because like at least I guess you get in a rhythm if you just type it all out, but you're actually like going into work going, yeah, country practice isn't on anymore. Final episode last night. I'll have to change that tonight. Like, yeah, great, something to do.
Molly died. Yes.
Yes.
She had it coming.
So I worked for the local newspaper. I moved back in with mum and dad for like a year, did that job, then got a job in Ballarat. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Ooh, the
At
big
Big
smoke.
Smoke.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
what I'd been doing towards the end of my tenure at the Mirror Advertiser was I'd been changing stuff in the TV guide.
Here he comes, Carl.
I've been getting very bored with it, as you can tell, and I'd been changing the names of movies in there. So what I started doing was I started like incorporating friends I knew into movies,
Right.
enemies I had, whatever it was, just to keep myself interested. I would change 2 or 3 movies a week to like, for example, it'd be like, like 12:30 at night, Channel 7, Brett Blake eats a poo, 1966.
Classic.
Brett Blake, stand-up comedian, loses a competition where you whoever the worst is on stage has to eat a poo, and so Bretty has to eat a poo.
Great.
PG. And I would put that in, and then I would send that copy to you and go, hey, we should sit up and watch the late night movie next week.
7:30. Have a look what's on. Fuck.
So that's
But
what
did anyone ever catch on? Like, what? Everyone's like, we don't give a shit.
But he was gone, but you'd be gone by then.
So what happened was I was doing that, and I would put them on late night, so they'd be 1:30 in the morning, whatever. So
no one
it's-
could verify if I
it's-
was eating a shit or not.
Yeah, exactly.
okay,
Well, I
that's
wasn't
smart.
replacing
Which you were.
Carlton
That was
versus Collingwood on a Friday night on Channel 7. I was doing it with the ABC, replacing the Arsenal Stadium Mystery 1934 with whatever the fuck.
Great.
So no one cared about it.
Dassilo does Dallas.
Yes.
NS.
All of that stuff.
SS.
Yes.
NSS.
SSSSSN. How much nudity is in this?
There's God, he must be naked the whole time.
He's got 6 dicks.
I call my brother. We need another VHS tape. There is so much ends in this thing.
That's great if you just put an N per genital.
Yeah, how-
Oh yeah.
Times.
Ooh.
And then they're sitting there going, hang on, one ball is one genital? Is it so 2, so it's a double N?
3 genitals.
yeah.
Soccer Highlights 2 video is coming out.
So what happened was when I got a new job, I went, okay, I'm going to I went to the leaving party with all my workmates, and we're all getting drunk and whatever, and then I said, actually, guys, you know what I've been doing the whole time I've been working here? And they're like, oh, what? And I go, I've been changing all the movies and all the TV shows to the stupidest shit I can think of, including all my mates and all these fucked up words and stuff, and no one's ever noticed. And I'm like sitting there, like drunk and going, how funny is this? And they're like, not that funny. Like, what? They're like in shock. Like, what the fuck?
Taking their job too seriously.
Yeah.
You betrayed
Like, come
them.
on, who gives
It's
a
like,
fuck?
well, you haven't noticed it. No one's looked at
Doesn't
it. There's
matter.
been no
You
complaints.
dragged their tiny little paper through the muck.
And that's their life as well, because I'm like on my way. I'm like,
I'm off to the big
who
smoke, you
cares?
fucking hicks.
Yeah, I'm off to do open
Bangers.
mics in Melbourne. Whatever.
Yep.
So they're like shocked, and I'm like, well, okay, maybe I've gone too far or whatever. I don't know. Oh, who cares? So then, like a week later, I'm in my new job, and I get a phone call from a Maryborough
Number.
area code.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, who's ringing me from Maryborough? And it's someone from the Maryborough Advertiser going, oh, yeah, how's your new job going? I'm like, yeah, pretty good. They go, got any plans tonight? And I'm like, what? What? Do you want me to come over there for a beer or something? No, back to Maryborough? And they're like, no. Oh, you'd be probably sitting inside watching TV tonight. I'm like, am I? And they go, you should. There's something good on. And I go, okay, what is it? And then I look it up. It's like 8:30 at night that night, Channel 9, movie, So Long Suckers, starring Karl Chandler. The story of a young Maryborough man who gets out of a shit town and goes and gets a proper job somewhere good.
Wow. Were they horrible to work with?
No, they were.
So did they write that, or did you write that?
I wrote that.
You wrote that. That was your final one.
Yes, and I'd forgotten.
That's a great
Oh my
excerpt.
god! I
just
thought they
left
were
it
doing
in
it
there.
as a like you will love this.
No.
But then you went prime time 8:30. You're not fucking around.
Exactly. No, I wasn't scared
Oh,
anymore.
you caught the shit
I
town
wanted to
whilst
be
they're
caught.
sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the disrespect.
I was a serial killer wanted to be caught by that stage, but I was out of town. It was my calling card.
Live and laugh.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! They would have given me a panic attack every time I got a phone number from an unknown thing.
Yeah,
Like, it was fucking me.
Yeah.
Is that your best quitting story? That's got to be. That's amazing. It was in the paper.
Yeah. Oh, look, no, not my best quitting story.
You've got a better one than that?
No.
You've exited better
I reckon
than
you've
that?
been fired a lot.
No. Oh, well, you know what? The only time I've really properly been fired was I worked for a publishing house, a book publishing house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I went in there, and that was about my third or fourth job.
Freddie, a book is like it's got two sides. It's filled with lots of words.
I'm sorry. Is it on a VHS and got Anthony Banderas' dick? I don't know anything about it.
You know, like Playboy, but like heaps more pages. Yeah, and less pictures. Sorry.
Yeah, great. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, still, just to confirm, are there pussies in it?
Not these ones. This is like a boring publishing house. This is like a lot of textbooks, a lot of university books, a lot of dictionaries, a lot of encyclopedias, stuff like this. And so I did that job, and I was like, oh, this will be okay. It was terrible money, but like I liked that sort of work. I quite enjoyed the work. But it was, and look, I don't know how to say this. It was. You know, like if you worked in a mechanics and there was like old school mechanics would have a terrible culture because it was all blokes and there'd be pornos on the walls.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just not that healthy to have that many blokes in one workplace, right?
No,
You agree?
no. That's what I mean, even like lighting and other jobs I work in construction and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like you need women on site, otherwise men just turn into apes after
Yes.
about 2 hours.
Absolutely.
Just throwing shit at each other.
Sharing their porno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah, setting their alarm for like at 12:30 for the SBS movie and whatever.
We've all been there. Don't turn on me now.
No. So I kind of think it works the other way around as well. So I was in a workplace where it was just completely all women, and I'm like, oh, this is fine. But then you realise too much of anything is too much.
Yeah.
So then instead of it being like pornos on the walls, it was just like bitching and like being sort of like really passive aggressive the whole time and whatever. And
A lot of post-it notes on things.
Yeah.
Little passive aggressive notes. I love a passive aggressive
Yeah.
Oh,
note.
I love them. They're so much fun. I
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I thought you would be a
no,
a little.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I grew up.
So I was in a job where that was happening, and I was like, I'm putting up with it, sort of like all sort of low key, pretty tense the whole time. Like, okay, well, whatever. I don't mind the job. I'll put up with it, whatever. So then I had a really bad breakup when I was in this job, and I took it really badly. And then I was going to work pretty miserable, but doing my job. But I'm just sitting there like, you know, not being the life of the party.
Thank God you went out the newspaper 8:30. She's a bitch. Left me. Fuck
Yes.
you. You'll never do better than me.
Yes.
Men's rights rule.
Yeah.
It's a long ass
Yes.
title from Karl Chandler.
So I was, it was like a long distance breakup, whatever. I never talked to her again, sort of thing. As in, she dumped me, then changed her number immediately.
Oh, wow,
So it was even like that thing of like,
dreadful.
yeah, you know when people like lose a loved one, but then if they're missing, like you don't even get the closure. So to me, that was the thing that killed me. There was no closure.
You couldn't go, all right, what did I do so I don't
Yes.
fuck up next time?
Yes.
I am sorry
to
for
learn
that
from
part
this.
of that.
Yes.
I
She
could have
was
been better.
Willing
Yes.
to lose all her contacts in order.
That's the best.
Yeah,
That's the best way
yeah.
to do it. Is like
Huge.
you're
Yeah.
dumped, phone in the ocean.
Yeah.
Move state. That's actually not a bad move.
Yeah. So, but the only times I talked to her after that was sort of missed. I think she sort of missed the attention because I was obviously desperate to be with her. But then so she got a new number, but then like blocked the number. And every now and then when she didn't have, when she wanted to sort of touch base, she would ring me and I'd be like, "Oh, can we talk about what happened?" She's like, "No, this is my new phone number. All we're talking about is what I want to talk about."
Oh, wow.
What was on TV last night? Did you watch that? So Long Suckers? No, it was stuff like that. It was like I was like, "But can we talk about us or whatever?" And if I tried to talk about it, she'd just hang up. And I'll be like, "Oh, I
Who
can't
is
ring
this
you back."
crazy lady?
Yeah,
I love
I don't mind her energy. Can we get her on the pod?
I'm going through that, right? So I'm going nuts. I'm in at this job, and so I'm being brought into these meetings where I'm a designer, right? So I'm in these book meetings where they're talking about the directions of the books and, whatever, and the production schedules and whatever. Everything had nothing to do with me. Like there was literally never a time where they went, "Hey, graphic design monkey, what do you think about any of this?" Like there was no need to talk to me. So I remember I was in a meeting one day and something like that had just happened, and I was sort of just like, like that for a meeting, just sort of like, bit down. And then they called me in afterwards and were like, we've decided you want to leave this job. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
I can read your mind.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, you seem like you're really unhappy to be in this job." I'm like, "I'm not. I'm sorry. I've just been through this massive breakup and I'm really sad about it." And in fact, I know in the company you've got sort of like this sort of culture where they give you like a phone number to ring for people, like
Lifeline.
a lifeline, but
Yeah.
not that, but like an insured sort of thing for the company, for people who are depressed, for
Okay.
people who are suicidal, for people who are whatever. I said, "I'm actually sort of if I can use that service, like that'd be great." And they were like, "No, we think you want to leave. We think you actually want
It's
to."
easier. You're fired.
Yeah.
That number's for women.
Yeah.
Men, push it down. Kill yourself when you're 60.
Then you can use the number, but that is on a special phone and it's in the ladies' toilet. So you cannot use that. In fact, we don't even have a men's toilets in here. So I was
Also, how good's that going? I'm actually struggling really a lot with my mental health at the moment. You're fired still.
How about you do it on your own time?
Yeah. And
So-
so even though you admitted that, because that would have been hard to be like, "I'm actually going to call this number."
Yeah.
And they'll go, "Not good enough."
Yeah,
It's
no,
time to
that's
go.
only for employees, and we don't see your future going that way.
You ring that number because you don't know who it is and it's your ex-girlfriend. You got a new job at the hair. Like, can you fucking just tell me why?
That would actually have helped me a lot. But yeah, they
Like, you
didn't have
can't
that.
hang up. It's part of your job.
No, that would have been great. So they were like, "No, we've decided you want to leave." And I'm like, I mean, look, fixing my mental health, I don't think, part of that is having no money and having no employment and having more time at home to think about
To
things.
find that lady.
I don't think that's a good idea. And so they were like, "No, we insist that you really think this way and we'll give you an offer." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so they go, "We'll offer you 6 weeks pay to leave." And I go, "Oh," and I'm that psychotic at this stage. I'm like going, "Oh, well, yeah, I mean, maybe that's a good idea." And,
go on holiday or
I could go on holiday, I could fly to where this girlfriend is. I could employ
Whoa.
a
No,
private
no.
investigator.
I could find her. I could win her back.
Hire
I'll
some-
serenade her. Yeah.
Hire some bloodhounds.
But it's shit pay. So 6 weeks of shit pay. It's
But
not that good.
I used to work at a country newspaper. It's all, shit pay is just pay to me at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, and they go, "Just you go home and think about it." And I'm like, okay. And I remember,
They're like, hopefully he kills himself. Then we have to pay out.
honestly, where I worked was just before the Westgate Bridge, and my house was on the other side of the Westgate Bridge.
Oh,
So I
you'd
was
have to walk
driving
The
a
gauntlet.
notorious suicide spot, the Westgate Bridge, every
And that would have
day.
been before the huge things were up.
Yes.
It was inviting.
I was
you
nearly
to
the
throw
person
yourself
who
off. Oh, no.
made them possible, made them necessary. So
I still reckon I could jump past that. You know?
Alright.
I'll give it a
you
sting.
could definitely throw someone, which probably doesn't count as suicide, but
No.
yeah. So I remember driving over that and ringing my mate and going, "Hey, this is what's happened. What do you think? Do you think I should take the offer?" And he's like, "Mate, you didn't hear what happened to you properly. That's not an offer. They're telling you you're fired. There's no, you can come back in and say, no, thanks. They're going to fire you. It doesn't matter what you say." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Oh, I don't understand. I clearly don't understand this."
Why did they put it on a Post-it? I
Yeah.
understand the Post-it notes.
Yeah. So I went back in there the next day and they said, and I just didn't say anything, and they brought me back in again and they go, "Oh, so what did you think?" And I go, "Yeah, I've decided to stay. I've decided to stay."
Incredible.
And they go, no, sorry, I've got the story wrong. So I didn't, I said, "Yeah, okay, I've decided to go. Okay, no problem." And then they go, okay, great. And so they give me the forms. They go, I think you've made a really good decision because obviously this wasn't for you and you didn't like the place and whatever.
Like, I've never said that once.
Yeah, I haven't said it once.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know where you're getting this from, but anyway. So
It's
then,
a singular sigh.
yeah,
I love that.
have you been talking to my girlfriend or something? Like, this is
Can
the
you
same.
give me her number?
This is the same way she dumped me. I've decided you don't want to be my boyfriend anymore. It's all been thrust upon me. So I go, okay, I went to sign the forms, and I actually read the forms and go, hang on a minute, is it when you offered me 6 weeks' pay? This says here that's just. I'm owed 6 weeks holiday pay.
Oh, that was your money. Oh, wow.
That's
really
already my
tricked
money.
you.
And they go, oh no, but we're offering it to you to have. And
That's
I'm like,
my legal right.
It's mine. It's like saying you can keep living in your house. It's like, it's not your house. So I go, so is this your offer? Giving me something I already have? And they go, yeah. And I go, I decided I love this job. I love this job. I want to stay here forever.
Yeah. It's my favourite place.
And they go, you mean after all that, you're about to, you wrote your first name on this contract and now you've pulled out and gone, no, I actually love this job. Is that what you're saying? And I go, I would like to stay here for the rest of my life.
I love it. It's the
Happy to take a pay cut if you need, guys.
Yeah.
I'm part of the team.
Yeah. And so they're like sitting there just looking at me going, how do we get out of this? I'm like, they go, what? So what do you want? And I go, I want another 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
I want the thing that you offered me.
Yeah.
I want 12 weeks pay.
I go, I said, I don't know how you got to the level of boss, but how did you think this was going to go by inviting me into an office and go, I've got an offer for you. You walk out the door now for nothing.
Well, to be honest, if you got away with it, that's a good boss. You know what I mean?
Like nearly
tricked you.
got away
Yeah.
with it.
You can keep the clothes on your body.
Yeah.
Except the hat. I'm taking the hat.
Yeah. So they go, what? So you're going to stay here? And I go, yeah, I've got a few jobs to do. I'm a bit behind on one of the books, so I'll just go back to the desk.
I need a sigh in every room in this building.
Yeah. So they go, okay, you go back and you write up an essay about why you think you should have 6 weeks pay before leaving. You go and write this big essay about why, and I go, no worries. And I went back to the computer and I looked up porn. So
Look, I'm trying it now. I'm getting a bit clearer sense of why you were fired.
No.
He's sighing. He's watching porn.
Sighing is not a sackable offence.
No.
The porn bit is, sure. But that was when I was on the Green Mile by then. I was already out the door. So I'm like, I'm going back. They're counting on me writing an essay about why I should get sacked but like compensated, like legally compensated. Like
I just would have wrote, fuck you. That's why.
Yeah.
I would have written the essay.
I did.
Oh, really? You would?
Yeah.
You'd crumble?
6 weeks pay.
No, I
didn't.
didn't.
Want to be there.
I was like, that was the first bit of common sense I had. I was like, I'm pretty sure they're going to pay me out no matter what I do.
They definitely
want me
you to
gone.
leave. And they know they have to pay you out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
Because you can't just fire someone without 3 strikes or whatever.
That's it. I didn't even have one strike.
Yes.
You got fired for a sigh.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been like, you would have been depressed for a week and they're like, let's get this cunt out of here.
Yeah. All that stuff. And also they were in such a little set routine where everyone's on such little money. You know, you have to be like, turn yourself into the king sort of thing. And like, all this stuff's really important because I've got nothing going on in my life and whatever. I'm just trying to do my job. I'm just trying to do a good job. So anyway, they're like, right, this is our project. Get this guy out the door.
Yeah.
So then they come back after an hour and go, all right, you've got your precious money. You can go now. And they're like, you have to pack up your stuff right now, put it all in a box now, and you have to go right now.
Fuck yeah, that's all I wanted.
They march me out. But then they put me in they have the exit interview. They put me in the exit interview and they're like, so what did you think about this job? I'm like, what do you think? What do you
wanted to stay.
He's a cunt. He's a cunt. He's a cunt. She.
Hey.
You've just frog marched me out of the place. You've sacked me for nothing. What do you think? Oh, and so it took them an hour to do that. In that hour, like I'd said, I haven't even had an official warning. You've got to have 3 strikes. And they very clearly went and had a meeting and went, what can we get him for? And then they came back and gave me 2 official warnings.
Watching a porno. I can see him right now. There's one.
Leaving the toilet seat up in the girls' toilets and, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they really tried to figure out some strikes for me.
Can you do that? Can you have,
that's what you guess.
can't have
If they're all on
retrospective
you can't have retrospective ones, and if they're all on the same day or whatever, it's clear what they're doing. You can sue them and shit.
Yeah.
But I suppose this would have been fucking the 90s, early 2000s.
Maybe early 2000s.
So they'd still be a little bit more, old school.
Whatever. We do what we want.
Yes. So they marched me out the door. I have the post the exit interview, just sort of going, honestly, what do you expect?
A poor person, like one of the people who fired you.
Yep. And they were like, and you know what I loved about it?
Name 5 positive things about the company. Go.
So they had, what I loved about it, they go, so what were your problems with it? I'm like, well, you to start with. And then, but then they go, well, what about the people you used to work with? And I'm like, honestly, they were fuckheads. And they go, and I said, I know you don't care, but this is how bitchy the whole setup was. They go, oh no, I do care. Pull out the pen. Tell me all the people who are idiots in here.
God, they're
and then they started like...
So they loved it. They're like, yeah, give us the sauce.
Yeah.
Feasting on each other.
Yeah.
Is that company dead in the water?
They're big. I know their big boss got sacked within a year. I know the whole place got like a big clean out within a year.
Yeah, because they killed each other.
Yeah,
they just destroyed each other. They all were calling that number flat out.
So you know what I love though. So what happened was then I get fired. I get paid out. Beautiful. I then go home. I live in Williamstown with this lady I don't really know. I sit in my bedroom for 6 months and cry and whatever. But the great thing was about.
You didn't even go on holiday. You're just like, no.
I didn't have any money. Like that was
6 weeks back.
I had to live on that.
Yeah.
I had no savings. I had to live on that. So
if only young Karl knew about Thailand back then.
I know. So then I went back and I heard from, there was one guy that I used to keep in contact with back there, and he hit me up a couple of weeks later and he goes, oh my God, your timing was so insane. You were so lucky. What happened to you when it did, because you had no strikes against you. You got paid out because of that. You got fired. There was no good reason for it. But if you had have hung around for a couple more weeks, they would have had a pretty good reason to fire you. I'm like, why? What happened? They go, today we just spent an entire day having to pulp dictionaries because you designed the cover of the dictionary and you spelled a word wrong.
On the cover?
On the cover of the dictionary.
Please say it was the word dictionary.
the one place you're not allowed to misspell a word. The cover of the dictionary.
Hey, I know a certain person who wouldn't have picked up on it. I'd have been like, what's wrong with it? What word did you spell wrong?
I have no idea.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. One of them.
Yeah.
And that is why
that'll do it.
Yeah, but if you go in the dictionary and change that word to that out, then no one would know.
Right.
If you fucked up twice, it's fine.
Just white out that word.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
No one ever noticed white out.
On top of it.
You can't publish whiteout. Oh, yeah, I'll just white out 50,000 copies of it.
So it was like they printed 50,000 copies.
It's heaps. It was like one of their big dictionaries. Yeah.
That rules.
Yeah.
So lucky that you left.
I know,
Imagine
but
if they, gave you
that would have
bill
cheered
for
you up.
Yeah, it did, absolutely.
Did you
it's
call
still
your
cheering me up now.
Yeah, that is great. Did you call your parents, because you left this tiny town which you said was a shit town, you told everyone there it was a shit town and you left. Did you tell your parents that you got fired?
Yeah, I had to.
Why?
What am I supposed to say?
That you are a huge success. I always wonder that when you, because you would have had this beautiful dream of the city just like welcoming you in and just celebrating you and you becoming a huge publisher.
Yeah.
But your parents are the one people I like to think you can be honest with. You're like, oh, she left, or fuck, my job's fucked.
Parents from the country sometimes absolute psychos.
Yeah, no,
you had good ones.
They were the people. Like I said, I was ringing my mates and they're just laughing, going, "Yeah, you got sacked." Like, okay, can I have one person that's not laughing when I ring them and tell them about this? So, yeah.
And so, have you ever had it? Because you employ a lot of people.
Yes.
Who has been?
Well, so I run a comedy club. I do that sort of stuff.
There's got to be. Can you tell us a story? You don't have to name a name, but probably do. But if you don't, has there ever been someone that you have worked with or who's worked for you that has been an absolute nightmare that is worthy of a story?
I mean, yeah. Look, dealing with comedians, they're not used to working properly. I'm trying to think of people. Yeah, like there's. I don't know. It's not a proper job, is it? No. And a lot of people don't treat it like a proper job. No. So it's hard.
Are you referring to me drunk again on Saturday?
Well, there's not a lot of jobs you can drink during and be quite drunk during. But yeah, a lot of people, take offence at saying, like I've said to people, oh, can you mention to the crowd at the end, you can stick around for a drink, and people are like, oh, fucking check out old man Chandler told me what to do. I'm like, telling you what to do? Do you mean a job? Yeah. Have you ever had a job before? Yeah. Oh, look, you know what? I think I have really bigger problems with the public now that I'm like a boss.
Okay. Brady and I were talking about this before you came in. We were like, I wonder what would be more annoying, working with comedians or working with punters?
And even when I was at the Coopers, where there was a one lady show in particular, and she dragged in a lot of South Yarra mums, so like the Prosecco, Champagne, Chardonnay crowd. And that was her comedy show, and it was just all for her friends who were loaded to come see her fuck around once a year. That's the only time she does a show.
Yep.
I think you guys may have seen the show. Anyway, the poster's been around a few
Karl
times.
Chandler's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. Only pops up once. Her audience, because I was helping doing the door when I ran the Coopers at the time. Her audience were fucking psychos.
Yeah.
They would go like, because they're all South Yarra, millionaires. Like, I'm not paying for a ticket. I know her.
Yeah.
And one
Incredible.
lady ran into the room. Her show started at 7. Ran into the room and said, "Stop the show. Janelle's stuck in traffic." And then she's like, "What?" And I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She's like, "My friend's stuck in traffic and she's missed the opening. She's just got to start again." I'm like,
Great.
"There's 80 people in this room. They are not stopping a show for your
Great.
friend who's stuck in traffic." That's psychotic. And then like the bar would run out of Prosecco and they would be the scariest, that Botox
Yeah.
face mum, and you're like,
I just drove their car into
"Oh, I
Cooper's
would.
Inn.
Yeah, I would.
Alright.
If the door was big enough, they would have drove straight through, driven over me, going, 'Oh, it's just a poor person,' spat in my mouth and gone, 'Oh,
Or what about this? One comedian, one punter.
Beautiful.
All right.
then you can do your comedian story.'"
No.
Yeah, great. So there was a comedian from New Zealand once who came and did, I run a gig called Comedy at Spleen on Monday nights. And he came in and he was, sometimes there'll be a comedian that hits the town and sort of makes quite a mark, and you're hearing about, oh, there's this crazy New Zealand guy on last night at this other gig and whatever. Anyway, he does my one. And then he's on the same bill as a comedian called Oliver Clark, and who wears quite a distinctive outfit.
Yeah, great guy.
Who has to sort of get changed backstage into his like showbiz outfit and whatever. So anyway, they both do a spot, and then Oliver goes back to get changed, and he goes to get back into his street clothes, and he doesn't have any street clothes anymore. And this is a bad thing because he wears that very bright showbiz Las Vegas suit.
Yeah.
He can't just walk down the street in
Like
that.
the baby blues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like 38 degrees out. It's fucking
like
brutal.
Like he's Tom Jones in 1966 in Las Vegas,
it's a great
right?
suit.
Yeah.
That's absolutely not
Not a great
regular
10:30 Monday night, top of Burke Street.
No, you'll get bashed.
Yeah. You
Fine,
good?
Red Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah, me. I'm out in front waiting.
So then he goes, I don't have any pants anymore. Now what has happened is the New Zealand guy has shit his pants backstage. Actually shit his pants.
As in like nervous to go on or
No.
just big night?
Just big night. Shit his pants on a Monday night. And then here's the thing that always gets me. He didn't get rid of his pants. He put Oliver Clark's pants on over the top of his pants.
Why? What? Okay. Obviously, there's no good
Like putting a
reason for
nappy on
this.
top of a nappy. Like, no, change the nappy.
Just get rid of the
different
pants,
nappy.
throw them in the bin. I'd just... Man,
What would
ditch
you
your
do?
undies or just run. I'd get rid of the. I wouldn't actually.
Maybe
Maybe
have
I'd
no
steal
undies?
someone's pants, but I'd get rid of the pants.
Yes.
I'd go into the bathroom, get
I
some
guess
toilet paper,
anything-
sort myself out, new pants.
Yes.
Clean break.
The scene of a crime, you don't have this bloody shirt on, then you put another shirt on over the top of
No,
it.
you'd
That's how they
never
got
do
OJ.
that.
He had two gloves on.
Yeah.
So he put Oliver's pants
put
on. And then
Oliver
he went
pants
out and
over
then
the top.
Did he already perform? Had he already performed at this point?
I don't know the order. I think he'd already performed.
Okay.
So then
Is this-
I don't because that's the thing I've got in my head. I don't think we recognised the pants as he was on stage.
Aha.
So, but it all happened really quickly. So
The original double denim band, double denim comedian act.
So it got to the end of the show and it all happened really quickly. Oliver was like, "Where's my pants?" And we're like, Where's the pants?" And then someone was like, "Hang on, we remember that guy walking out, sort of walking a bit weird and wearing different
Waddling.
pants, wearing very distinctively different pants as he walked out." So we're like Columbo style. We're piecing it together. It's all the pieces are like coming together at once.
Yeah.
And we all go, "And where did he go?" And like someone at the door's like, "He went that away." And we go, "Right." And we just all like an army of us, there's like 4 people, just run down Burke Street, chasing this guy down Burke Street. And
Who shat his pants? Now
Yeah.
he's shitting himself again. Twice.
everywhere.
Has anyone else got a spare pair of jeans? I need to put a third pair over.
just mugging someone on the run on the way through, the triple pair. So we caught him like about a block away, which, of course we're going to, he's being weighed down by like double shit in the pants. He's not, imagine, you can't walk properly in shit pants, let alone run properly.
And 2 pairs of pants.
Yeah.
Wild.
So-
and Oliver's not a big man.
Yeah.
So this
But what were you
would
going
have
to
been
do? When you give us those pants that are covered in shit back?
That's exactly it. Once we caught him, we were like, "You," and he's like, and he can't sort of get out of it because it's like, "Well, give us a sniff of your pants," like, and so we're like, and so he's like, "Oh, okay," and then Oliver's like, "Yeah, give me those don't give me those pants, okay." I'm very angry at you though. And then it's sort of like, we're all like,
Because had he explained the reason why he was wearing them? Is it because I shat my pants? How did you know there was shit in the pants?
You'd smell it.
Yeah,
You've got kids. You wouldn't, when they shit themselves from a distance?
I'm pretty sure he did explain it, because that's the reason why we were like, well, we don't want the pants anymore.
Yes, okay, great. Because otherwise he might have just really liked the pants, which is a dog act, but shit in there.
Yeah, so then he promised Oliver.
Cool act.
What I love is he promised Oliver, like, he clearly didn't want the pants back, but we're sitting there and there had to be a conclusion at some point. We're like, what do we do? Yeah, give us some money. He's like, he's clearly got no money. He was there for a week from New Zealand. So then he said, once I head back, I'm going to send you a gift voucher for pants. And then he was like, okay, well, I guess I'll get that. Yeah. But then once he walked away and he went home, I said to Oliver, what happened? He's like, nothing happened. And we you deconstruct the sentence, like, how do you give a gift voucher for pants?
Yeah, that's such a weird offer.
Yeah, it was, there's no pants shop or anything. And, this is like 10, 15 years ago. There wasn't, you couldn't sort of buy stuff online. You actually couldn't order stuff like that online.
Has this comedian recently came back?
No.
It's Guy Montgomery.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was trying to guess who it is.
Ursula Carlson.
Guy Montgomery. Yeah. Ray O'Leary. Classic shit pants Ray O'Leary.
It's actually Crowded House. It was all crowded. They were playing at Spleen. Neil Finn, he got a bit nervous because he was finally on the Spleen stage. I mean, he's done the Opera House. He hasn't done Spleen. So, that's the sort of comedian brain you work with, and you're employing people like that. At some points you go, oh, this person's insane, but I don't have anyone else, which is weird. It's like, imagine working like at a Mercedes-Benz and you have to get so many cars out and you're like, this person doesn't know what a wheel is, but someone didn't turn up, so he's working today. That's what it's like.
Okay.
So, but then the flip side is I had a customer the other day that we had, it was a sold-out show, and then I was getting phone calls during the show and I couldn't answer the phone calls because my phone was hooked up to the in-house sound system. So that means as soon as I answer the phone, the phone call goes all around the building during the show. So I'm blocking the call and just texting and going, hey, sorry, I can't answer. There's a show going on. If you can just text me your inquiry. Is it about comedy, whatever? And it's just this person going, capital letters, good start. Where is the show? Your pub is closed. I want my money back. And I'm like, the show's on and the pub's here. Come on down. Check the address on your ticket and come on down. Reply, it's closed. I've been there 5 times now. Give me my money back now. And I'm like, and I start taking pictures of the comedy show going, it's certainly here and the show's on and you're very welcome to come on down. Please come on down. And she's like, no, it's not. It's closed. I'm like, I don't know what else.
She'd know better than
I said, this is the address, 120 Exhibition Street. It's called Basement Comedy Club. It's on the corner of Little Collins and Exhibition Street. You can't miss it. There's a huge sign out the front with laughing teeth with comedy inside. There's a thing on the wall that says Basement Comedy Club. There are bouncers that would be talking to you. There is a door wide open. It's not closed. Everything is pointing towards going there. If you can do that, that'd be great. We've just started. You've plenty of time to come down.
As the show's on, when you've got a million other things that you have to be dealing with.
That's fine. I'm happy to deal with someone that I want to know the answer to it because I'm like, where are you? Are you in Adelaide? What's this? How can you be not finding this venue? And then it just keeps going. There's signs in the window as well. It's like, how have you missed this? And then she keeps going, I'm not happy. I'm like, oh, I'm not happy either. This is the 10th text I've got for you in half an hour. So eventually she sends me this message going, oh, you gave me the wrong address. We're here now. It's at 280 Exhibition Street. And I'm like, that's not,
Cooper's.
Well, I don't know what the number was. It wasn't that.
Right.
But it's at some other address.
She goes, that would be funny though. Goes to another comedy club going,
well,
you fucking idiot, and just start abuses and
well, this is what's happened. So what happened was, I look up the address, and she sent me the address for the Princess Theatre. So she's gone into the Princess Theatre and gone, oh, finally we're at the comedy club. Harry Potter, not funny. Get funny, you cunt. Like, she's at like some massive show and is still abusing me going, you gave me the wrong address. It's like, that's not my comedy club.
Never
whatever sucks.
Yeah, whatever musical you're at the moment.
Why are comedians on broomsticks? Who's Dumbledore? I've never seen him on the gala.
Where's Husey?
Oh my god!
Just crazy people.
That would be so annoying.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you are known for like tolerating fools very well.
Yes.
So how do you do that?
You're welcome.
How do you do that? Yeah. How do you not like lash out?
Well, I mean, in bits like that, like what do you do? Like it's so
Lash out.
crazy.
No, but it's kind of you just got to keep feeding in the string. You know what I mean? It's like I've done everything I can, and then it's just I would find that kind of funny if I wasn't annoyed. You know?
Yes. It wasn't someone in my face. Like someone's like yelled at me in my face, and then I've given it back. Because a lot of people turn up to shows and go, and I'm like, and then I say, "What's your surname?" Smith. I've got no Smiths here. So many people turn up not knowing their own name. That's a big killer thing.
Because they're so maggot, or because they're just not sure who they booked it.
They just get really angry and they say, I've got a ticket. My name's John Smith. And I go, is your name John Brown? And they go, oh, yeah, that's right. I changed it 30 years ago. And you go, yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for yelling at me first. But anyway.
No wonder you don't suffer fools, though, if you have to deal with this all the time.
I deal that every week, all the time. But like there's people that turn up on the wrong day. You insist they're in there and they go, you're an idiot. And then I get their ticket out and they go, they've booked 6 months ago. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
Yeah.
This is January here and it's October. I don't think this is on me.
I've bought 15 tickets to the wrong date and then you refund them. I had that before and then they bought it to the wrong date again and I had to I'm like, you know what? Just come in for free. I can't be fucked with any of this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
Oh, I got a death threat the other day like that. Someone came in, booked a ticket 3 weeks beforehand and then came into a sold out show and then like the dumbest family and they came in and we're chockers and they go, here's my ticket. And it was I go, you're 3 weeks late. You're exactly 3 weeks late. Like, well, what does that mean? I'm like, what do you think it means? It means you should have come here. Like, you're already a little bit late. Like, the show started at 8. It's 10 past 8. You're 3 weeks and 10 minutes late. So I said, we're full. I can't let you in. We're chockers. And they're like, oh. And then they didn't say anything. They like sized me up and then they went home and they sent me an email saying they were going to like kill me and stuff. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Okay, all right.
Beautiful.
Nice little family activity together. And where would you like to stab him?
Yeah.
Tim's going to stab you in the nuts.
Yeah.
Janie's going to chokehold you.
And I was like, oh no, I know. But then I was actually like, you get a death threat and you're like, oh, this
We're
is
coming
bad.
down tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, you got at least 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks and 10 minutes. You know, you got time. You got time.
Yeah. So, but then I go, oh, you booked online. And I just looked it up. Oh, I've got your address. Oh, this is good. I've got a paper trail here. And the best thing was I got your address. Oh, you live in a shitty suburb in Canberra. I don't reckon you're going to fly in to kill me. I reckon you're just going to stay in Canberra.
Yeah.
So
Chris Ryan's doing well though.
Yeah.
We'll send it to her gig.
Yeah. So yeah, you get a nice little mixed bag between everyone. But I guess that's every job, isn't it? You got.
Yeah. I just think you have a really unique perspective of the human race, having the job that you've got, dealing with not only comedians but also the people who come to see comedians for entertainment. You've just got such a spectrum of morons that you have to.
It's really weird when someone like does their job properly and says yes and thank you and stuff like that. You sort of go, oh wow, okay, is that for me?
Yeah.
So
you sent me an image. You sent me an invoice. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. How did you do all that?
Yeah. Yeah, like, pundits come out and say, that was a really good show. And you're like, oh, wow, thanks. Yeah. You're not going to kill me or anything like that? They're like, no. We'll come again. We'll come again.
In 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're on time. Yeah. We're on time and we enjoyed ourselves and we left.
Yeah.
It was really good.
And Karl Chandler, if you could go back in time to any job that you've mentioned or any job that you haven't mentioned, whatever, any job that you've had and say something to one person that you work with.
Oh, this is good.
Like, could be a boss, could be someone who really just ground your gears.
Yep.
And just,
could be positive, could be negative.
And they had nothing to say back. They
think it'll be positive?
Call the police. No. I love you, Janelle.
I wish I had said something positive. Yeah.
If you could just say one thing to them as a mic drop and then walk out.
Could even be like the dictionary guy and be like, it was me.
Yeah. No. I'd have been in that office, said, no, you know what? Not 6 weeks. I'll have fucking 12 weeks, thanks. Yeah, that's what it would have been.
Great.
Because I very distinctly remember running out of money a couple of weeks in and I could have done with a bit more. So that's what I would have done.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much, Karl, for joining us this week. Please make sure you follow us on all the socials. This has been Work Hates Podcast. Enjoy. I've been fired from a lot of places. I've been fired from so many places.
I went into the class one day, real bullets.
Kill me.